This is lesson 4, ordered lists, unordered lists, and tables. So as we have left off our code, we have a web page that looks similar to this right here. We have our ordered lists, so we're going to add some additional ordered lists inside of our list items we already have. And in our second topic, we're going to add unordered lists and how to do those. So we're going to jump over here to our code. So open up your document in your Notepad++, and we're going to go down here into our ordered list here, and we're going to add a list inside of another list. So one of the ways we can do that is we're going to go down to here where our ordered list says type equals A, and we're going to go underneath our list item A, and we're going to add another ordered list, so it'll give us a sub list item, and we'll use a lowercase a in this case. So the way you do that would go here to the end of your list item A, and you would click here and just hit enter. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tab over so we can kind of see how we're changing things, and we're going to add our OL tag for ordered list, and we're going to say ordered list, and we're going to say type equals, and our type is going to be a lowercase a, which will give us a lowercase letters for our sublist. Close that tag there. Go ahead and hit enter, and then tab over, and this just keeps our code easier to read and understand what we're doing. So we're going to do list item, so li, a beginning li tag, and we're going to say sub item A, and then we'll close that, and we'll do another one, and we'll say sub item B, and then we'll backspace one spot to go back over, and then we will close our ordered list. So always remember to, when you open a tag, you always have a close tag where you want it to stop. So we can quickly save this. So we go up here and hit save, and we'll jump back over here to our website. And if we look right here, we refresh our page, and you'll notice that now here it says sub item A, sub item B, and we have lowercase a and b in our sub item. So this is kind of if you're doing an outline structure, things like that, this is how you would do that. Okay, so let's go back over, and we're going to do the same thing, and that would be the same way you could do other things. So if we were to go down into our list here, and we're going to say that we're going to do a list item in our Roman numeral section. So what we would do here is we would go to the end of list item 1 here and click and hit enter. Then we'll do OL type equals, and in this case, since we're using uppercase for our main headings, we're going to do a lowercase for our subheading. Okay, and we'll go ahead and go hit enter, tab over, do LI for our first list item, and we'll say sub item I, and we'll close that. Okay, and just for the sake of not having to type all these, we're going to do 3 lines. I'm going to highlight that. Make sure it's highlighted. And I'm just going to press Control C to copy that. And if I hit enter, I can just get Control V, and we want that to go back to match. And we'll just change this and add an additional I. That'll give us our second one. We can tab down, Control V, and back this up. And that will take care of 3 of those. Add 2 additional I's. And that's not necessary, but it will, it just makes it look like what we want it to. And then we'll close our ordered list. And if we were to go ahead and click save, and then we jump back over here into our ordered list, we're going to look at this one here. And if we refresh our page, we should now see I 1, 2, 3, and you can see how that works. So that's how you can add additional ordered lists items underneath your current list, and you can do this with other lists as well. So we're going to do that with an unordered list next. So let's move on, and we're going to add an ordered list down here, or unordered list. So we have here where it says ID H2 ID equals topic 2, and we're going to change this from second topic to, I'm going to change the name of this to where it says unordered list examples. Okay, and since it's already set up as topic 2, it will work with our link up here. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And to do an ordered list, we're going to add a paragraph tag here, and we're going to say this is how to create an unordered list. Close our paragraph tag, and we're ready to start. So we click underneath here, and we hit the tab key. An unordered list tag is identified as UL for unordered list. So we'll go UL. We'll start our unordered list, and we'll just hit enter, and it will tab across to make it easier to read. We'll go list item, and we'll just say list item 1. Close our list item. Oops. And then we'll do another one, list item, and we'll say list item 2. And then we will we're going to kind of do, I want to hit enter a few times so that we'll push this up the screen a little bit, so it might be a little easier to read. You don't really need this space, but this might make it easier to watch what's going on in the video. So we're going to go and hit here, and I'm going to go ahead and add some sublists so you can see it. So we'll do this as we go along instead of going back and doing it. So we're going to add an additional unordered list, so just tab over, and we'll say UL. So our unordered list here, hit enter, and then we'll tab across, and we'll say LI, and we'll say this is sub list item 1. Close that, and we're going to go ahead and do one additional one. So we'll go ahead and here and tab over one more time and create another unordered list, and tab again, and we'll say list item, or LI tag, and we'll say sub list item 1. Close that. LI sub list item 2. Close that. Okay, now we're finished with that unordered list, so we're going to back up one spot. We're going to close that with our close tag. That will complete that one. We can hit enter. We can back up one space, and we'll do a list item for our next one. So we're going to say this would be sub list item 2. And you'll see once we get this code and we save this and look at it on our page, it will make more sense what we're doing here. So we're going to close that one out, and then we're going to go back one, and we'll close that unordered list out. So remember, every time you have a beginning tag, you always need an ending tag to complete. So we have unordered lists. This is our main outside one. So we actually have 3 unordered lists right now. So we got this one here, and we haven't closed it yet because we're not finished with it. And then we come down here and we have unordered list here, and we got 1 list item, and then we have a 3rd one inside here, and we have 2 list items, and then we closed it there. We have our 2nd list item on our sub list, and we just closed it there. So we're going to add 1 more. Let's see, we're going to add 1 final list item in our main list. So we'll back up 1, LI, and we'll say list item 3. Close that out, and we'll back up 1 space, and we'll close our unordered list. So that's pretty much all that you need to do to fix this. So let's go ahead and hit save, and we will jump back over and look at that. So you save that, and we go back over here, and we'll see under 2nd topic, when we update this, it should now say unordered list examples. And as you can see here, this is how to create an unordered list. We've got list item 1, 2, then we have sub list item 1, and then sub. As you can see how it is pushing those in as we go down. And then there's our list item 3, which matches this outside. So you can see how the symbols change in an unordered list other than numbers or letters or Roman numerals. And one other thing we need to do is go back here on our 1st topic, and we will change that actually. So let's go change this here in our code. So let's jump back over to our code, and up here where it says 1st topic, so scroll up to here right before we started our ordered list, and let's go ahead and change that from 1st topic to ordered list examples. Okay, we'll save that. We'll jump back over here, refresh. Now we have this correct. Okay, so that's how we do ordered lists and unordered lists, and we can nest lists inside of one another. Okay, so last thing we're gonna do in this lesson is learn how to create tables. So we're gonna create some tables, this is a little bit extensive, but we'll do a couple of tables and show you how to do those. So we're going to go down here at the bottom of our code here, and under our unordered list, we'll hit enter, and we will go back over, and we're going to create an H2 heading 2 tag, and we're going to give it an ID equals tables, so we can create a link to it at the top. So, and we're going to say how to create tables in HTML5. And we will close that H2. Okay, so that should give us that. So let's go ahead and go up here before we get any further and go ahead and link to this. So if we go up here to our links towards the top, where we have our, right at the very top where it says here, click to jump to 1st topic, click to jump to 2nd topic, we're going to go ahead and change these as well. So under 1st topic, we're going to say to click to jump to the ordered list examples. We will go here, click to jump to the unordered list examples. And we'll go ahead and add a line break. That'll push it down to the next line. And really quickly, let's just copy this here so we don't have to do all that typing again. We'll go Control C, we'll hit enter, do Control V, and we're going to go and change the href here from topic 2 to tables. So let's take that off. So that was what we called it, and we're going to say click here to jump to the tables examples. Okay, so that should take care of jumping down to this point here under tables. Okay, so what we're going to do here is under our H2, we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and we'll tab over, and to create a table we're going to use the table tag. So very simple, table, and that will be our starting table tag. For tables you have to have rows, so we're going to say tables are split up in rows, and we'll show how we actually do the columns as well. But the tag for table rows is going to be TR. So we'll start a table row here underneath. So this will be row 1. And in a row you can have data or you can have a heading. So a heading would be set up to where it would look like a bold text. So we're going to do the first part of our table here. We're going to add a table heading. So we're going to say TH, table heading. And we're just going to say this is heading 1 slash column 1, and we will close that. Oops, TH. Okay, so that will close. That will be our first row and first column. So we want to do 2 columns in this table. So we're going to go down and add another one. So we just add another table heading. This will give us a new column. So we'll call this HEA heading 2 column 2, and we'll close that. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to make sure we close that table row, and now that row would be complete. So we're going to go ahead and add an additional table row here. So we do TR, and underneath that we're going to say we're going to do table data. So we're going to say TD is our tag for table data. You'll see how this is different when we look at it. We're going to say this is row 1 column 1, and we'll close that TD. Okay, and then we'll do another one, TD row 1 column 2, and then we can go backspace, table row, close that out. Now we're going to do 3 table rows besides these, so I'm going to go and copy this portion of my code so I don't have to type all this all over again. So anytime you can copy and paste your code and just change a couple things, that is going to be very handy and beneficial and a big time saver. So we just copy that, we'll go Control C to copy, and we'll just drop down here, Control V, and you'll notice that we have the same thing here. So we're going to say this is going to be row 2 and row 2. The columns will be the same, so we don't have to do any additional work there. And so we'll do one more, and we'll just go down here, Control V, we'll copy that one more time, and we'll say row 3, row 3. That will take care of that. And so all we need to do now is backspace off and close our table, and that will give us a table. So let's go ahead and hit save, and then we'll jump over and look at what our new document looks like. So this is what we had before. We just added a table, so we're going to go ahead and hit reload, and now we have a table. How to create tables in HTML5. You'll see heading 1 column 1, heading 2, and you'll notice our details here. If we go up here and test our link, we should have our click to jump to the tables example. If we click that, it should jump us down to this point. So just double check all those. If it doesn't work the way you want to, make sure you double check your code and make sure that works. So we're going to jump back over here, and we're going to create one more table, and that will conclude this lesson for today. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to create another heading 2 for this example. So we're going to say H2, and we're going to say table showing column and row spanning. Okay, so this is going to show us how we can take a table and we can span across particular columns or rows. So if we go down here and we'll tab over here and let's go back one, and we'll create a table, and we're going to add our table row. And we'll say TH, table heading, and we'll just call this column 1. And let's see, I can copy just that. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that, and then I'm just going to change column 1 to column. There's a little space there so it's a little easier to read. And this would be column 3. Okay, so that will take care of our first row, and then we can backspace and close our table row. Okay, and then we'll do our another table row, and we'll do a table data here. So we'll do tr table row and tab over. Sorry, TD, table data. We'll just call this row 1, column 1. Close our table data. And we'll go ahead and see if we can copy that. And we'll copy and paste as much as possible. So let's do, we got 3 columns, so we need to do that 3 times. So we're going to say this is row 1, column 1. This would be column 2, and this will be column 3. Go back and close our table row. So this will take care of the heading and also the first row of data. So what we're going to do in the next one is we're going to do another table row. So we've got 2 more rows to go. So we'll do a table row here, and in our data on this one, we're going to say TD and then a space. And we're going to span all 3 columns with this one. So we're going to go, the way you do that, when you go COLSPAN, so column span. And we're going to do equals, and since we have 3, we want it to go across all 3. When we have created 3 columns, we're going to say 3. You can do this for any number of columns you wanted to in any area that you wanted to. So we'll close that down and just say this row spans all 3 columns, and close that table data. Okay, so that will take care of spanning a column, or all 3 columns, so, or any number of columns. So we'll close that table row down, and then we're going to add one more here, one more table row. So we're going to do table row, and then here we're going to do TD, and we're going to say this time we're going to do row span. So we're going to say row span. And you'll notice it highlights and should highlight there in equals. In this case, we're going to do 2. So we're going to span 2 rows. So we're going to do that, and we're going to say this, double quotes. There we go. And the good thing about these is if you mess it up, it will color code it for you to alert you. So we're going to say this cell spans 2 rows. TD, close that down. Okay, and then we're going to go down here, we're going to do TD, and we're going to say this would be row 3, column 2, TD. And last one, TD. I'm going to say row 3, column 3. Okay. And we'll close that table row. And we'll just do one final one for good measure to have another. So we'll go TD. Because we need to make sure this is going through 2 rows, so we'll need this final row. So we do TD, and this is going to be row 4, column 2, and then TD, row 4, column 3. And that will take care of that. So let's close our table row. And finally, we'll need to close our table. So, and that should take care of all that. So I'm gonna delete all my extra spaces there. Not really necessary, but makes it look a little better. Okay, and so we'll go ahead and hit save. And we'll jump over here and look this over. And now towards the bottom, we have tables here, and we'll refresh that. And you can see that now we have tables showing column and row spanning. So we've got column 1, column 2, column 3. And then we've got row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2. Here's our row that spans all 3 columns. And then here's our cell that spans 2 rows. So it covers rows 3 and 4. So that's all for this lesson. This is what your website should look like. So if you have any problems, just let me know. And when you're finished with all this, this will be your HTML document that you will turn in on your latest assignment.